Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, and trade it. What's going on, folks? How is everyone doing today? It is Tuesday, Tech Giant Tuesday, often everyone's favorite day of the week. So many fun things to look at, talk about, prophesize about. Falconian says, what a day again. Absolutely. December says, good afternoon. Robert says, we cannot get an inside day candle. Nope. We got close to one, though. We got very close. So here's what's interesting. So I'm going to pull up the 15-minute chart and just kind of look at the candles here for a moment. And what's going to be really fun and pretty exceptional is figuring out how long this low level holds on the SPY. So we have another bearish candle today, but keep in mind this is a support level. From yesterday, we traded down, we traded up pre-market, we rotated down, broke low, retested, rolled over again. So some pretty interesting volatility. Tomorrow is a big day, and Rocco says until Jay Powell raises the rates tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, tomorrow will be very interesting to see exactly how it transpires. But again, this is a good support, so it could hold. Sorry, I had a quick sneeze attack. All right. So with this level, I mean, I'm going to be kind of excited to see what happens, and interested to see what goes down. Here's the daily chart, and Mr. Michael Ward says today's lower shadow was to trap some of the bears, which certainly could be the case, right? So you can see on the SPY, we did make a new low relative to yesterday. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. So tomorrow, I mean, we could get a bullish day. It could be an inside day. We'll just kind of wait and see. But again, this is a really, really interesting price, location, and area of which to hold. And I still do think we're going to continue to go a little bit lower at some particular point in time. But yeah, today's candle is more or less kind of a non-event for the most part. I do think it's interesting that we close a little bit lower than yesterday, and we did make a lower low and we did make a lower high, which both of those do show that the bearish trend is still intact. And we did have a decent gap up this morning. I did try to play SPY. Well, I tried. I did play SPY bullish, and here's kind of how I played it. Posted it in Slack. It wasn't really a great setup by any means, but here was the entry. Was a break above the first 5-minute high wave candle, bullish. And I did a limit buy off of that right there with the stop below there. And once that doji came in, and we did, that was the pre-market high. So once we got a doji, the pre-market high, I pretty much immediately ran scared and got out as that bearish candle was forming for like 0.19 hours, like pretty much nothing. So as this candle was pulling back, and the reason I got out so early was because here's the 5-minute non-extended hours, and I knew that we were going to retest. And I was like, man, I guess I got in a little too late. So again, entry here, stop down there. And I pulled up the 10. I was like, wow, looks like we're going to just trade it right into the 10 and then, bounce off. And I still could have exited for the exact same gain that I did anyway, had I just held. But I was looking at a lot of the other markets, a lot of the other stocks like Amazon and a few others like the Qs. And there was a few stocks that were breaking down during that time. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So anyway, I mean, it was a very, very small game. It wasn't a loss, but once we took out that low with this candle, I was very confident that we're going to continually to have some lower lows in the market we trade up and just kind of free fell. So had a lot of volatility this morning and really all afternoon. So here's the hourly chart on the SPY, and you had, again, a white candle gapping up into the 10 EMA on the hourly, which again, at this point, I mean, these are bearish trends, and we just filled the gap pretty much immediately, came down to these lows, and then we're trying to get a little bit of bounce. So yeah, we're going to see. Tomorrow will be a fun day, but most likely we'll probably have, if I had to guess, a small little bullish day, kind of hanging out, maybe a nice bullish day, but probably a small inside bullish day. And we trade sideways and again, eventually end up breaking down a little bit lower. Here's the E-minis, and shout out to my good buddy, Mr. Robert Falco has been tearing up December, doing his best to make some good gains. And the E-minis did make, again, another lower low and a lower high today. So we did retest, and if you're looking at this hourly chart, we did retest. We did roll over. So this is the retest. This is the breakdown. So to me, it looks like this bearish candle has already forming, and I forget where. Here's the 5-minute chart. This was the trade that Mr. Falco and I were texting about last night. Let me go find that trade. Let me turn on the hourly chart. I'll find it once I find this hourly. Okay. So this inside hammer candle right here. Inside hammer, right? You trade it up, or trade down, trade up, trade down, trade up, and you had an inside candle. So we played a really quick pop out of there. Very, very small gain on the futures, but it's fine. So I'll go back in here to the 5-minute chart. And yeah, just like this little small little pop right here from this little move to 2564 up to about 2566, 2567, quick little flush higher. Falco says, what if we gap below the low of today? So Neil was asking about that, as well as a few other traders. I mean, if we gap below the low of today, it's going to be just an absolute, first hour is going to be a very strong sell-off. And it's very possible that we do that. We'll see. But yeah, if the broader markets gap down below the low of today, because there was some buying that came in today, especially with the Qs. The Qs, ladies and gentlemen, gave us an inside day high wave candle. So if we gap tomorrow below the low of this, it's going to be a very fast sell-off early in the day. And then most likely we're going to have a decently interesting lower shadow, probably by the tail end of the afternoon with some Fed speeches. So you'll get like a decent, pretty fast sell-off pretty quickly. Robert says, no retest. First, just flush city. Yeah, I think so. If we open below the lows of today, I mean, there's a long way to go between now and market open. It will also depend on how far we gap down, if we gap down, right? So we've seen these situations before. So, if the Qs are opening at like 154 tomorrow morning, I'll look to go long. So it depends on how big the gap is. If it's just barely taking out the lows, just slightly, totally fine, going bearish, pretty much very close to the open. But if we are gapping down huge tomorrow, which I don't necessarily expect, could happen. But yeah, if we gap down huge, then it's going to be a free-for-all. Today was, guys, I mean, for all intents and purposes, we talked about this yesterday. I said it would be an absolute gift if the market gave us an inside day candle today, and we have one. So we have an inside day candle on most things. The Dow is one, the Qs is one, the SPY is not barely, but the IWM is an inside day with increased volume nonetheless. So yeah, we have room to continue down, is what I'm trying to get at. Today was a rest. We did retest. And for those of you who are trading futures, I mean, if we do start breaking this support, we're just going to keep going down more. So with all that being said, let's dive into, we have a decent list of stocks today. Let me make sure I answered Neil's question. Says, I catched it tonight, but can you talk about a potential gap down tomorrow? To me, it looks like no doubt gap down lower. Yeah, so if that happens, I think we're just gonna have a strong move. Okay, cool. Let's go look at TME. TME, and there's nothing that we can really do with this one. Bearish anyway. You got a decent little high wave candle. You know, a bunch of selling. This is Pinsent Music Entertainment Group on the New York Stock Exchange. You know, if I'm looking at playing this one, I'm looking to go long, obviously, because you can't really do anything with a short trade on it. So it's really hard to see because it's kind of taken some of this previous data, which doesn't really exist. So you have to just look at it this way. Yeah, I'm just going to wait on TME. Want to see what type of trade we would play on it. I mean, if anything, again, you'd probably look for a bullish play. Let me watch it tomorrow morning and just see how it moves. Let me pull this up. Give me a quick second. What's tomorrow morning? Is tomorrow really Wednesday morning? Okay, TME. I'm just going to literally watch this because it's kind of a cool inside day candle today. Kind of, you know, perfect little doji. I don't know. Maybe we'll see if it moves. That's TME. Nothing really special. Okay, FedEx, FDX. And FedEx today had a little bit of a bullish pop, some decent volume. And the reason we're looking at this one is because it's gapping down post-market on earnings. Yeah. Sharon says tomorrow's Wednesday. Okay. If you say so. So Troy had a bear call spread that expired worthless. Man. FedEx is gapping down to 174. Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to do. It's almost like it's almost a little too far for a blue chip. I'd like it if it was gapping at like 176. What? That's 164? Oh, man. Let me go in this 5-minute chart. Oh, boy. That's tough. Yeah, FedEx is going to go on the list tomorrow as well. Tony's asking, will it fade tomorrow or get wrecked? It's a good question. Again, it's a little on the far side. I mean, if it was gapping like at 181 or 175.90, let's see how it opens. The closer it opens to yesterday's candle, the more I'll like it. But you can bet that I will be trading this one, or at least watching it tomorrow. You had good volume. You did have a good bullish candle. The only downside is that it did not make a higher high. So the high of yesterday was 186.17, and the high of today was 186.14. If we would make a higher high, I'd be all over this. I mean, more people kind of probably bought the breakout. Hourly chart, I mean, oh boy. Look at this buying on the hourly chart. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some selling. Definitely going to be some selling. Falco says, trapped all the bottom fishers today. They're going to immediately sell. Michael says, it's a blue chip, so probably fade. You got to see how it will interact with the resistance. Tony says, yep, makes sense, especially looking at the buy volume. Totally. So some people definitely were bottom fishing, and they're going to be trapped. And I'm totally fine with a nice gap down. Just depends on how far it moves. But that is a really, really interesting gap on FedEx. Whew. All right, let's stay tuned on that one. Here's UXIN. And this one, if you got a chance to buy some of the dips on this one, congrats. I've just missed it. It never really pulled back, at least not yet. So I'm going to keep waiting just for a pullback on UXIN. As far as the day trade is concerned, it has a pretty obvious bullish trend. You know, this is the 5-minute chart. So if you're playing some of these pops, I mean, you know, awesome. This one was a nice intraday pop right here at 794. So once it broke above there, you would have had to have a stop market to get filled with a stop loss down here. And it could have been a really good trade. So UXIN and NEO are pretty fun to day trade. They have good volume, but I missed this one. And we're just going to have to keep coming back to it to see if we can catch a pullback. That is really all we can do. Whatever pullback, however you're playing it, you're definitely buying dips. So buy as low as you can, and I've missed it. So that's all I can say. So speaking of NIO, so here's NIO. And we got out of this one on Friday, pretty much the perfect time. And we're just hanging out. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can draw on NIO is kind of like this. No, it's too ugly. So I can draw this one. And if this breaks down, you'll just know this is going to come back down to 603. So nothing really on NIO. We'll look at it again on Thursday as a transportation stock. Otherwise, we'll just move on. DocuSign, DOCU. So this is one that Ash has posted her plan. She's looking at going bearish on it. So DocuSign, what's cool about DocuSign is you do in fact have some interesting volume coming in today, like a lot of good bullish buying volume. And it looks like we might be gapping down some tomorrow. So Ash want to get in at 41.37 and your target of 39.27. I like the target of 39.27. You might even be able to get it lower. I mean, I think you might be able to get down here at 38. What's happening on DocuSign is you have a one black crow yesterday, and it did go lower today. So if I pop in here to this hourly chart, big bullish candle, I would get in if there's two ways you could play DocuSign. You either get in below here and then add to it if it takes out the low of this candle. Let me rephrase. You get in with a limit sell here, pretty much at market open. So you're looking, you do like a limit sell for half an hour, like 41.50 with the stop loss at 43.50. And then you add to that position once DocuSign breaks the low of that hourly candle, which is 41.18. Otherwise, if you just want to wait and just do a full R of risk at once, entry be below the low of this hourly candle with a stop up here. So 41.18 by 43.50 with a target at 38. It's like a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, and looks good. Yeah, so again, we'll see if the markets do open down. Right now, they're relatively down. But there's a long way to go between now and market open, so we'll kind of find out. But yeah, some interesting volume coming in on DocuSign. The 50 is kind of doing its thing. Interesting one black crow yesterday. So let me know how that works out, Ash. Next on the list is Carvana, CVNA. And this is one I was looking at yesterday. And I was checking this one out to see how I wanted to play it bearish. And the bearish stop limit would not have filled yesterday, which is great. And now I want to try to figure out if I should try to get it below these lows. So something like this, or figure out if I need to wait that long. Because this entry would be below the low of this candle. And obviously we would take out these lows right here. But if I did that, I'm trying to figure out if these candles right here would become an issue. These little candles, like if I need to get below the low of those candles. I'd really prefer to short it higher though. Yeah, Let me give this one just a little bit more time. I have no rush. I can always trade it tomorrow. Let's see what it does. If it gaps down and takes out the low tomorrow, I'll put it on the list for tomorrow. I will just, I'll short the breakdown on Thursday, potentially. So I'll put that on the list for Wednesday. What I'm looking at doing is I would like it to trade higher and short it, above around 37.41. I'm going to try to short something as high as possible at this particular point because it's a pretty decent bullish candle today on Carvana. All right. Next on the list is Seagate Technology, ticker symbol STX. And this one flustered me a little bit today, but hopefully it'll continue lower. This is one of the reasons I love options, but I also hate options at the same time. The stock on Seagate today closed down a quarter, opened and made a lower low and a lower high, and the option didn't go up. So I'm like, what is going on here? Because our target is 425 on these puts. And the high of yesterday was like right around 410, 405, right around that particular price. And we actually made a lower low and a lower high today, but the option price didn't. So it was just kind of cracking me up. We'll see if we do gap down tomorrow. I mean, I don't know if we will or not, but it looks like there's actually a little bit of post-market volume coming in on Seagate. So if we can open down tomorrow and then flush lower, we should be okay for our 425 target on Seagate. The battle with this one, and there's actually two reasons. Here's the weekly, and there's a few reasons why I want to get out down here, but one of them is it's the monthly. 100 simple on a monthly chart. So we're pretty much right there. The reason I didn't get out at that price is because I felt like it was going to kind of break through it a little bit. So I've just kind of been waiting, and it was a good trade. I like the setup, and yeah, so far it's going okay. Robert says it didn't move even with VIX moving. No, dude. That's it made a lower low and a lower, like it went lower today. And the VIX increased and the options went down. It went from 37.10 to 36.75. That is 35 cents lower. And the option went down 50 cents. Oh man, who knows? Flabbergasted. But we'll see if it works out tomorrow. If we gap down tomorrow, we should be able to hit that target. And it might even blow through it and make, I'll be complaining that I didn't sell for 5 or something. But that's Seagate. For those who are in that particular, that's the weekly options newsletter trade from 2 weeks ago. Another one coming out today, by the way. So that's Seagate. Next on the list, this stock also has an X at the end, Dropbox, ticker symbol DBX. And this red line that I have drawn in here is just the support that I drew from this candle low. So this candle wick, I threw in the support. We got some support. We're just closing right on it. So the big question is, when am I going to move my stop on this? And with the market looking a tad weak, we got our stop above the 50. I guess I'm just going to keep waiting. I'm going to give it a little bit of time because we're only up like 0.68 Rs or so on Dropbox. It's not a bad trade. So again, tomorrow, depending on what happens tomorrow and or later this week, we're in a good position to do well. If Dropbox works out, and then Seagate Technology works out, and then we have, here's iRobot, IRBT. And as I was talking about, there's iRobot. This was one that was happening right at market close. So I wanted to celebrate that one with you all because that was the first 2-hour swing trade that's hit in a little bit. And so that was right at, the thing is, that was also at the 200 simple moving average on a daily chart. So it was a little bit below that and could have exited earlier, obviously, but I figured I would just hold and paid off. So this is one I'll really calibrate and factor in tomorrow, because I didn't even know this hit until like 15 minutes ago. Here's the 15-minute chart. It just happened right at the tail end of the day. Last few minutes of the day, because it was so far away, I wasn't even checking it. So that's a good thing on iRobot. It's a good swing trade. It was a really quick 2-hour move, and our first 2-hour winner in a bit, right at 2 hours, like almost 2, 986. So yep, I like that move on IRBT. Beautiful swing trade, well done, congrats. A few of you were talking about JBL, so I'll throw JBL on here at the end. So that's iRobot, very nice win. And then here's Weight Watchers, ticker symbol WTW. And Weight Watchers did have a good move today. So I like this move on Weight Watchers, some beautiful volume coming in. And I mean, that was pretty. Falco said it's such great timing with all those bearish swing trades. Thanks, man. I got lucky. Got lucky. But this one, I mean, I say we say good target on it, but the crazy part is I still feel like I could have gotten in a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do on Weight Watchers is at this point, I'm going to lower the stop, because there's no real reason for us to take out this high. And if this was a day trade, I'd almost exit a little bit tomorrow. But you know, with swings, it's almost like, I don't really have that many shares. If we can take out the low of this candle tomorrow, what's this, 43.64? If we can close below there, we should be good to go. Should be good to go. And that's really about it. So I love the candle. I like this like double top look. And here's the weekly chart also on Weight Watchers. So by moving the stop, like you got your stop kind of like at the 10 EMA on the weekly. And here's the 100 simple. It's at 51.60. So the stop is still above that. So let's go ahead and update that. I'll put that in Slack. And lower stop on Weight Watchers swing trade. Okay, give me just a few quick seconds. Where is Weight Watchers? Weight Watchers is here. Lower stop. Okay. So that's WTW. And then here's UAL, which this one is, it's okay. It's okay. Again, if the market really just starts shredding lower, we'll have a shot at it, but kind of semi-comical because it's triggered by the exact low, and then we popped today with a little bit of an upper shadow. So if the market does break down, we'll have a chance at this one. Our stop is above all moving averages. So we did have 2 half-an-hour entries. And again, the reason I'm kind of legging into some swing trades is just because it's been so choppy. But I do kind of like these moving averages. I like the fact their stop is up there, and the weekly, it looks okay. So we could easily get stopped out of UAL. That's certainly some risk on the table. It feels good to remove the risk with iRobot, but UAL, we'll just have to kind of keep waiting and just get a general idea of what happens. But if it breaks down, beautiful. Here's Target, TGT, and Target was retested pretty nicely today. A little bit of an upper shadow. I'm not going to mess with it though. I think it still could fill. I was debating on just moving it to the exact low of this candle, because if it breaks the high of today, it's pretty much going higher, right? So this was it. So if it takes out this high, which was about 65.78, most likely going to go up a little bit more. So yeah, let's just go ahead and adjust it. I don't think we need to adjust our stop though. Maybe we'll take it up by a penny. I don't think we need to. Let me just go in and just see if we need to adjust that. I don't think we do. That's above the 50 EMA. It's above the 100 on the hourly. The daily chart, you're above some pivots. It's not above the 20. All right, we'll see. Let's go in and adjust it though. That's fine. Because again, my thought on that one, my rationale is if it breaks above the high of today's candle, most likely will go up a little bit higher, especially with as choppy as the market is. And really, we'd be almost shorting it at the 10 EMA on the daily, which is what did break down nicely last time. So I don't want to overthink it. Update, entry, and stop. Now the thing is, this one, Robert was mentioning when he was putting it in last night, it says it rejected it as a order that could not have been filled. So if you had any experience with that, feel free to check and make sure this order did go through. Right, make sure it did go through, and it should have, especially if you did it this morning. So just check to make sure it's there. Diego says, I understand the market sentiment for Target is to go lower, but I struggle to accept the fact that Target and other retailers are going lower. After the retail sales numbers came out with 30 to 55% increase in sales, but oh well. I mean, the thing is, you're welcome to go counter trend, Diego. Honestly, man, because you're telling me, if I'm looking at this trade and I'm saying, is there any chance that they could bounce from here? Dude, of course. You're just going against the grain, and that's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a negative to go against the grain. I mean, because if you're playing this one bullish, I can say, especially for a day trade or a short-term trade, you could easily be watching this for some bullish moves. Right? So like for tomorrow morning, for example, if it gaps up and opens above, this neckline, this 15-minute double bottom neckline, you do a little bit of a retest and then play it long, sure. For a day trade or a quick swing trade. I mean, as far as the numbers are great, and that's the thing that could be causing the VIX to not spike as much as it is. And again, the VIX is really just a math ratio on how many puts are being purchased relative to calls. In the most simplistic terms possible. And employment numbers are low. Like you mentioned, retail sales are the best ever. People have a lot of disposable cash. Interest rates aren't bad. And people are, and so the market's going to go lower. A lot of people don't expect it to go lower right now. So you're absolutely correct. It could cause a relatively interesting perfect storm if we really do start just crashing. And then that's when it can get really exciting and make a move. But you're right. I mean, the numbers for retail were really good. But oftentimes for a bullish market to end or trade sideways for a while, usually it's best if it happens when no one expects it. Right, when everyone's excited, all the numbers are good, everyone's like, how can the market possibly go down? And it just starts going down. That's when it can get fun. So we'll see, man. Again, you're most welcome to play Target for a bullish day trade or some quick swing trade. Just because I'm looking at it bearish, trust me, does not mean it's going to go lower. It could absolutely do something like this, run up, stop us out, and then roll over. That's happened numerous times, right? It could do something like this and this and this, where it keeps going higher. That's also possible. I mean, they could trade side. They could also do this. You know, I'm kind of hoping for that, but we'll see. So that's target. Okay, great discussion though. Very, very useful. Again, Diego, always love the questions, man. Here's Blue Apron, took some APRN, and Blue Apron finally bit the dust today. So again, stopped out of Blue Apron, was holding that bag for a long time, and it is now down 10, 11%. So I have no idea what Blue Apron's going to do. When's the next time that I try again? That's a good question. I mean, I never got triggered for an add and reduce. So I never added to the position, just only increased my stop. So I did lose on Blue Apron for sure, but never added to my position, never got triggered into an add and reduce. So I have no idea what Blue Apron's going to do. I guess just go to penny stock land, and when's it going to bounce? I have no idea. So that's Blue Apron. Matt says, it appears they will let an IPO go to zero. Dude, it appears so. You're absolutely right. I've tried it a few times, and it appears that's what's gonna occur, at least right now. So yeah, man, bottom line, I have washed my hands with Blue Apron, and that's going to be that. I think that's all of our swing trades. Yep. All the swings. Here's some non-directionals. So this is an official bear call spread on CRON. Cron. And CRN trying to bounce off the 10 EMA on the daily. I get it. I understand. I see it. You know, here's a Morningstar reversal pattern. So can it do this, this, and this? Answer is absolutely. I mean, that makes tons of sense. Why not? But I got the bear call spread for January, 15, 16. So that simply means they could trade all the way up to here, make a new all-time high, and then it'll probably get shorted and pull back. So I'll just kind of leave it alone and be cool, calm, and collected. There's not a lot of premium for a bull put spread right now. And even if there was, I'd want to do it down here around 8. So there's just not enough money for me to do a condor or anything presently. So I'm still just waiting it out. So by waiting, I mean, I'm just going to sit back and just let theta do its thing. Because the only option I could sell would be like a $9 put sale, which I could do that as a naked put, but I don't really want to own shares Cron, even though I could put a stop on it, of course. Yeah, I'm just going to wait it out. Wait out and see. I could close the spread for 5, maybe a 10-cent gain if it fills and make half of my position, but I think I'll be all right. We will see though. You got yourself a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess the question is, how high is the 5 going to go? And I'd actually be okay if we're going all the way up to 15, get a little bit into the spread, maybe even go to above 16, break this high, and then retrace. So I think it'd be all right. And then, of course, you know, that's if it breaks down, then all is good. So CRON, hanging on to that one, just chilling. Here's XPO Logistics. So you've had some bullish moves, and at this point, what's going to start happening is the hourly trend is going to kind of take over on XPO a little bit. This was a really fun breakdown of this bullish candle this morning. And you can see a very, very nice pennant pattern. I did not play this on the 5-minute chart, but you can see how it really wasn't that easy to play. Had a lot of volatility today. And it just depends on how you're playing it short, because the trend is still bearish. I mean, if you're playing it bullish, you're just doing it counter trend, which is fine. But at this point, you're below some of those moving averages. So my thoughts on XPO Logistics would be short the pullback and let it come back down to 45. Here's the daily chart, and you know the moving averages. We haven't actually hit the moving averages yet. So again, this is kind of like the hourly trend that's pressing this one down a little bit. This is the stock that has crashed some 50% in the last few weeks, and I have missed all of it. So I didn't catch one move on XPO right here, unfortunately. But we can see that double top on a weekly is serious. This double top is serious. I'm serious. So anyway, there's XPO, and that's pretty much my thoughts. Okay, next on the list, I don't know where the gold's at. Show me the gold. GLD and gold pulling Mr. Squiggles perfectly. So it traded higher. It had that nice 1, 2, 3 S-curve type of pattern, right? Boom, boom, boom. There's the move. There's the new high. Sell into weakness. Sorry, sell into strength. Buy into weakness. Bounces off the moving average. Nicely done. I did look for bull put spreads today, yesterday, and Friday, and there was just no premium. You did have a bullish gap and go on gold back on the week of the 3rd of December. And the only thing I could see on gold is it'd be there a long-term play. You know, you're closing above the 200. That's why another reason why I thought it would retest, you know, is because it really does like to touch and retest that 200. And if you're playing gold bullish, especially if it's GLD, I think 1/20/23 could be a decent little target. All right, that's cool. Here's XLF, which is the financial ETF. And the financial ETF looks weak. 3 bearish candles in a row on a weekly chart. And we made another lower low and a lower high today. So we gapped up, we failed again. So this is going to be, I believe, just another situation very similar to what we talked about yesterday of sell the rip. Obviously, everyone wants to know when the bottom is going to come in. I'm going to spend some time with that over the holidays to try to find out and do some work and try to figure out if I can get a good bottom area on some of this. But yeah, I mean, if the XLF trade high enough, I would look to short it at 24.71, which is an old support, new resistance. XLF, you know, is the regular financial ETF, so it's not leveraged. Yep, good bearish trend right now. I don't really see anything else other than that to say. I think it's going to the 200 at least. Okay, that is XLF. All right, next on the list is Wells Fargo, WFC. And Wells Fargo, oh boy, look at this pattern. I don't know what you want to call it. Theoretically, it would be called a complex head and shoulders pattern. But that is a close below the neckline. That's it. So I'll put it to you this way. I'm not buying shares of Wells Fargo. In fact, I don't buy any shares of any banks. But I did hear a rumor that they let go of a bunch of really high up executives not too long ago. And, you know, they might be selling some shares as well. Big gap down, retest gap. You do have the makings of a morning star pattern here, but if Wells Fargo does not break the high of today, it would not complete that morning star. And I think it's, again, kind of a sell high, buy low type of play, and just looks weak. This has all of the makings of a flag pattern. So again, just throwing that out there, we have 2-3 more days of movement like this, and we make a lower low and a lower high, and the Bears will play. Speaking of the Bears, they've been playing pretty well in the NFL for my Bear fans. Good job beating Green Bay. So that's Wells Fargo, and yep, that's pretty much it. I'll watch on Friday, a little bit of a flag pattern. We shall see. It is Tech Giant Tuesday, so here's Apple, and Apple today, bullish inside day candle. Bullish inside day candle on Apple. So you don't want Apple to gap down tomorrow. It looks like it's down right now. We don't know if it will open down, right? There's a long way to go before market open tomorrow. But there is some volume here. And if Apple starts taking out the low of yesterday, if really anything starts gapping below the low of yesterday, hold on to your pants. Falco's out of his put sales, and yep, there's an inside candle. Stay bearish, stay weak presently on Apple. It's still retesting the 100 simple from the bottom. Well, I had the drawings. Here's what you got. And what you do not want on Apple is for this to end up being a flag pattern. It could trade sideways for, again, truly 2-3 more weeks, but Apple is going to break lower. Any bets that you guys want to place on that, you just let me know. And yep, that's my thoughts on Apple. Nice inside day candle. Okay, next on the list is Facebook, ticker symbol FB. And Facebook still showing a little bit of strength. So I talked about it yesterday. This trend line right here needs to hold. So my analysis was yesterday, if it breaks lower than yesterday's low, which is still a really good spot, look to be bearish. You did have a decent candle today, but the 50 EMA is still kind of holding it down. The 50 EMA on a daily chart. When will I say I'm going bullish on Facebook? I mean, the good news is I like the fact that it's holding strong. And Facebook could easily move different than the market because it has been a dramatic drop. So if we just go from the high of August to where it did, that was 37%. That's a big deal on one of the biggest companies in the world. And it's at the 200 simple moving average. So yeah, I mean, we could start slowing down a little bit, but I'm just going to keep watching it. I'm not sold yet. So most of you, if you're in long-term, you're probably in shares or longer-term calls, and you have some type of protection. So I would just say, just hold that protection. Let's see what happens over the next 2 to 3 days or a week or so with the market. And the only way I think I would say, all right, guys, I'm cool being bullish on Facebook now is if we got a good close above the 50, good close above this support, and then we retested it. So once we close above there, I go, okay, guys, let's look for a bullish play. And I would attempt to do something like that. And if it didn't work, then we know that something's up. But if it does, then, all is good. So we'll see. Right now, the 50 is holding it back, and it's going to take a little bit of a gift from the market to go higher. Oh, man, this 15-minute chart. That's going to be fun tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be exciting. I'm going to have to take sleeping pills. And by sleeping pills, I mean melatonin. Here's Amazon. And I did look at Amazon today to go bearish, actually, because it looks like it's in a bearish trend. You did have a retest gap. You had, how many is that? 5 bearish candles in a row. Here is the 5-minute chart, and you guys all saw me post this on Slack. Where was this? 3-minute. All right, so I was kind of looking at the very early morning. Had a stop here and an entry here, kind of below. So I was just playing Amazon bearish, and when it broke above the highs twice, I just canceled it. And thankfully, did it correct. It broke above the high, and then would have stopped me out, would have triggered me and stopped me out immediately, only to roll over some more. Then triple bottom, then bounce, then roll over again, and then bounce again. I mean, Amazon was a massive machine today as far as trading goes. So again, I didn't play that bullish, but man, that would have been fun. And then traded right back down to that support, barely threw in a lower shadow just to trap people, and then bounced. So we'll see. Michael says the triple bottom is a bit excessive. I'm telling you, man, a little bit. So a lot of movement on Amazon. What's interesting on AMZN, to throw out a bearish perspective, is you got this pattern, So it's a little bit of a retest of a double top. I did have a buddy, Bryson, get into a bull put spread for January on Amazon below the 100 simple on a weekly. And there actually is money down there. Bryson, so what's today's date? 12. There's no way today's the 18th of December. Whoever's saying that's just joking. He got into a 1310, 1300 January bull put spread. So I like that. That's below the 100. I mean, he won't even have to flinch him on that unless it closes below 1400. That's 200 points away on Amazon, 200 and some change. Certainly possible, but not massively likely. So looking at Amazon, if I come over here to the hourly chart, I mean, if I turn on the hourly and I pull up those moving averages, look how Amazon just beautifully, trades into these averages and then kind of rolls over some. So gorgeous bearish gap and go back on the 14th of December, right? Very, very nice. Breaks below those moving averages on an hourly. This is where you're buying puts. And this is where you're getting out of puts. And this is like that little chop city that's going to happen for a while. And then we'll kind of see how we roll. But this is a little bit of a retest. And man, tomorrow, if we gap down the markets, I'm really excited to see what happens. Because we have all of the makings for just an absolute crash fest for the first hour until the Fed. And then, maybe a giant lower shadow gets thrown in and we'll see. Okay, I'm actually making good time today. Here's Google. Michael says, looks like a larger double top. I agree, my friend. I agree. Google, not quite as bearish as other things. Again, it's definitely down, but it's holding the 100 simple relatively well. We actually have not closed below this candle yet. So whatever day Google closes below 1039.77 won't be a very bullish few days after that. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about Google being a head and shoulders pattern. I'm not denying that. I'm definitely not saying that Google can't go lower, but this is one of the most bullish companies in the world. And sure, it could have some pullbacks. It can have some retracements. That's fine. How big will it pull back? I mean, I have no idea, but it will go higher. If Google came down to 700, I'd find a way to buy some shares. So bring it. It certainly has the capability of pulling back. I'm not going to deny that at all. I'm just saying, I mean, Google long-term will be an absolutely cataclysmically bullish company, and they're just getting started. So I agree. This looks a little bit bearish up here. I'm not denying that at all. But long-term, I mean, it's Google. So Michael says, looking for those investment plays. Agreed. Agreed. There's going to be some good times to start looking around for some value out there, putting in some nice low orders and going, okay, we had X percent pullback on a lot of these companies. What do I want to own long-term and where? You're absolutely correct. We got to be thinking about that way. I mean, I know it feels and kind of looks scary. It just depends on what your time frame and perspective is. Netflix had a 3% update today. So Netflix is just doing its own thing. I don't have any position in Netflix right now, but again, these red candles, the previous pattern shows it's going to be a little bit more on the bullish side. If I was trading Netflix, which I'm not, but if I were, I'd probably have some a condor on it, bull put spread down here, bear call spread up here, and just let it chop around. I think Netflix, it's not necessarily done, but it's done for for right now, unless the market just really tanks. Because we haven't even hit the 100. So Netflix could tank again, hit the 100, bounce off the 100 for a while. So Netflix will definitely be one for Ashley and myself to hop back into in a bigger perspective. I just need a little bit more of a pullback on Netflix. Like 180 would be nice. Another 100 points. Yeah, that'd be great. Michael says, has not hit the 200 simple on a weekly. Nope. Has not for a long time. So yeah, that's at 173. So that'd be a really good spot. Ultimately, 170, 180 on Netflix would be a good buying location. If it gets down there, I'll kind of throw my slightly bearish to neutral perspective out the window. What I can say on Netflix is you have a decent bullish candle, and there's absolutely no reason for that to break down. None. So if this gets taken out, especially if we close below that price, off to the races. Freeman says, I'm waiting for the RLT top 20 list of stocks to buy on the big dip for long-term investment. Absolutely. I will be crafting that when it's time. You can rest assured. Alibaba, BABA. So this wicked pair candle pattern really was the culmination of this move. And here was the wicked pair candle pattern right here. And this was that low. And this was the price at 150.26 that I drew last week. I was like, guys, this is a very strong bullish candle right here. And you got a wicked pair candle, bearish candle pattern. There's no real reason for it to take out 150.26. And then you got this candle that had a very small lower shadow that never broke below. And then we gapped down. I mean, here's the hourly chart on Alibaba. And let me hop over here. So the hourly chart, I mean, a decent little move, a relatively cute breakdown. So a few people have some put sales on BABA expiring this Friday. We'll see how those pan out. Again, by no means insanely bearish on Alibaba, but remember, a close below 138.42 will not be massively bullish. So that was the price I had put in here a bit ago. I was like, guys, there's no real reason for us to ever close below the low of this candle, this November 1st candle. If that happens, all bets are off that BABA is not going to hit 121.83. Certainly possible. So just understand that going forward, that's a good possibility. You got that really nice high wave candle last week. We've broken that. So if we trade sideways, or even if we don't, just kind of break down, I think 121.83 is a possibility on BABA at this point. Especially if we close below 138.42, which is not that far away. Another 2.5 points. And the other time that we wrote down was if we post small bullish candles on Thursday, Friday, and then take those out, bear town. And we did have a small bearish candle on Thursday, and then Friday we obviously gapped down. It was a small bullish candle. We took those out. So yeah, bear town is here right now on BABA, at least short term. Okay, so that's BABA. Here's Square. And Square is going to be the belle of the ball tomorrow. We got a bullish inside day candle. Are you kidding me? The exact candle that I asked for. Most likely will be the weekly options newsletter setup. Few people have some call sales and put sales on Square. I also have some put sales on Square. And I might be buying those back tomorrow depending on how we open. We will see. I'm not going to freak out. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of depends. But I'll show you the trade that I took on Square today. It was okay. It was all right. I did post it in Slack, and initially, I'll do it like this, and I'll kind of show you. Initially, I wanted to short it. Where do I want to short it? Here, with the stop loss there. And then when this candle came in and did not trigger it, I canceled the order. And I said, okay, let me do it a little bit higher because I just felt like the market had some weakness. So the next limit sell was 69.44, sorry, 59, something like that. Pretty much based off of this low. right here. So it was just a little bit higher. It was also off the VWAP, and my stop was so far away that I just felt like it should be okay. So here's the actual setup. If you go to a 15-minute chart, you'll see it a little bit better. VWAP. So it was pretty much right at the VWAP when I was shorting it. And yeah, 59.44 by 60.44. So it was a dollar risk. This chart looks so ugly. It looked much better earlier, I promise. But anyway, pretty much what I was looking for is just to get filled. And I kind of set it up and walked away. Otherwise, I probably would have canceled after this bearish candle came in right here on the 5-minute. But yeah, I more or less just set this one up, walked away for a little bit because I really didn't think I was going to stop that on a dollar stop. And it triggered in and then rolled over. I should have exited right here, but like I said, I did not have a target or anything set up. I just kind of set this one up and forget about it. So that would have been an R gain, and I didn't exit. So by the time this came in, I was like, all right, well, I'll just lower the stop. So I lowered the stop above this candle, and then I got trailed out right there for 0.29 R's of a gain. And then it just ran bullish and then broke down and ran. So it did all kinds of stuff. So really just an okay trade on Square. I got lucky. But that is a bullish inside day candle. So yeah, depending on how we gap Falco, I'm going to be buying the put sales back. If we gap down nice and strong tomorrow, I'll just buy them back, realize a small loss. I got the call sales. So I'll end up making a little bit of a gain, potentially, depending on the price. I'll at least break even. I won't lose, well, yeah, it depends on the gap down. I won't lose a massive amount, I think. But yeah, if it gaps down tomorrow, first 5, 6, 10 minutes, I might just buy that one back. Because if this thing breaks down, we're going to 50. And that very well could happen tomorrow. That's exactly what I asked for yesterday on Square. So we'll have to see how we open. We open at 58 tomorrow. I'm buying the put sale back. I'm going to lose money. And I'm going to buy a whole heap of puts. I'm going to short it. It's going to be great. That's Square. And oops, I went a little bit over. Ken said he made an R on Square bullish today. Nice job, Ken. Micron Technology down. So MU, ladies and gentlemen, it sucks, but got me some more protective puts. So I'm decently insured on MU, and I will be selling those puts tomorrow, depending on where we open, and then figuring it out from there. So definitely down on equity, no question. But it was good that I was able to peel off, a little bit more. So 28.89 is the next target on Micron. This is the next target. We're going to get there. Maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. It'll be a decently fun day trade, but oh, geez. Oh, man. I can already tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to do this. It's going to break down farther, and then it's going to pop, and then something like this. So it probably won't quite make it down to that level, but feel free to take a screenshot. Most of this is going to happen before market opens anyway. Tony says the PE at $29 will be tremendous. It's already tremendous, but yeah, the PE ratio will be pretty good. Anyway, man, yeah, yesterday on MU, bought some more puts with that candle close, right at that trigger, and good. So we'll see. Selling those, and we'll find out what happens. But yeah, MU, that's been the plan all along. I'll probably take that to put protection and buy, 20, 30 more shares down here at 28, and then just see what it does. And then again, if it starts fading from there, I'm just going to buy heaps of puts. I'm going to triple insure the position. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot. We start breaking the 200. I mean, it hasn't held the 200 at any point in time before on a bearish sell-off. I mean, it bounced off of it here. It broke it every time. So. Falco says it's going to cause a bearish gap and go in NVIDIA and AMD. Most likely. Yep, most likely. So let's go look at AMD and NVIDIA. So here's AMD. And AMD is down a little bit. So this was Mr. Squiggles from the other day. Brad's in some short puts and a covered call. I think it expires on Friday. It's a small little gap down, nothing crazy, nothing too wild on AMD, at least not yet. And NVIDIA right now is down, and I can only hope that it gaps down 2% tomorrow. Had a little bit of an update today, but the low was 144.25. Please don't let NVIDIA gap down below low of tomorrow. That would be too easy. Oh, man. It's going to do it. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Well, the crazy part is I can't get super excited about tomorrow. I'm just going to do my normal routine, you know, get some workout in, take some melatonin, get some sleep. I'm not going to wake up too early tomorrow. You know, I'm just going to approach tomorrow as a normal day. Because I was talking, I mean, I hope you all bought puts yesterday or today and got the message on NVIDIA. I mean, I was talking about the last few days. NVIDIA's weak, guys. Weak. Michael says, what time will we know about the rates? About 2:15 tomorrow, Eastern. Here's Activision Blizzard and ATVI. So Activision, mostly just hanging out. And I don't know anyone else who's still in this trade. A few people got some put sales on Activision that really don't mind owning shares long term. And yeah, ATVI, I mean, a decent little retracement, strong pullback. What's happening is right now you're getting an inside week for the most part on Activision. So, yeah. I think Activision is going to go lower. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we're closing below the 50 on a monthly. Just going to slowly creep down on ATVI. All right. I've already looked at DocuSign and 3 left. CSX, I missed a killer trade on CSX. It was all up in this general area. I wanted to short it. And I just got, I don't know, I got scared or something. Insert excuse here. That's what happened. Black candle gapping down, hammer candle. I just wanted to short that gap with a stop above there. I mean, I played it over here like a pro. How come I didn't take that 2 hours? I don't know. I will say I did day trade. I'm pretty sure I day traded on the 6th of December. We're gapping down to 63.50. You know, the thing about CSX is you have a very good support right about there. And we should hold that support for a little bit. Oh boy, but if we do not. I'm gonna come back and look at it Thursday. Fingers crossed that we close below here on a weekly, trade sideways or something, and then break down, because that's gonna be a fun 5-6 point move to the 100 simple on a weekly. Easy trade. That's a gorgeous double top on a weekly chart, folks. Don't get caught sleeping on that. We're going to be looking at that later this week for sure. And then here's JBL. And I'll look at CRM. JBL gapping up tomorrow, fade city. Yep, so I'll be fading JBL tomorrow. Bullish candle gapping up. It probably won't even wait for me to fade it. But I'm going to throw that on the list for tomorrow morning. JBL, fade. Big bullish candle gapping up in a bearish market. Yeah. Morningstar reversal pattern with good volume. I think it doesn't have to fade. I'm just going to watch it to fade. And then Salesforce. Congrats for a few people playing Salesforce. That was the retest. Check out Mr. Squiggles. This kid's good. Look at the Squigsters. That was drawing done yesterday. Whoo! Man, that boy good. So we'll see if it gaps down. I mean, if it does gap down, especially if it opens where it's supposed to be opening right now. 131.05. Oh man, Salesforce is going to just rampage down. I doubt it opens, guys. I really don't think the market's going to open as bearish as it looks right now. But only time will tell. I don't know. We'll see. Woo! All right. Let's have fun tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. I mean, it's exciting every day in the market, pretty much regardless of what the market's doing, but it feels like earnings season. So much stuff's going on. So many things are gapping. What do you want to look at tomorrow? Tomorrow's Energy Wednesday. We can look at literally whatever you want. It's totally your call. Here's the list that I have so far. Anything else? Let's look at Tesla, Costco, Johnson & Johnson, LNG, First Solar. Hopefully Seagate will have hit a target by then. Definitely got to look at Micron Technology, ticker symbol MU. That's going to be a very interesting play tomorrow. Probably should look at Square again, Salesforce, Waste Management, RTN, NVIDIA, Walmart. Cool. All right, team. It's been amazing. Diego says, so basically no entries before the Fed meeting. No, sir. I don't know if I said that, and I apologize if I did. That's the exact opposite. I just won't be trading that many right at the Fed meeting. So just right at the Fed meeting, I won't be trading, but up until the Fed meeting and afterwards, crush it. Go have fun, folks. You rock. I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.